Jane. It is a Sunday night. I'm in the studio. It's so cold. Oh my gosh. And I did a video yesterday and everything just did not go my way. I liked the colours. At least there was the colours. But, oh my goodness. Anyway, just chilled out and relaxed today. Came down to the studio to do something else. Ended up sitting here and looked at the little face that I started yesterday that I was like, eh! Turned the page. And got out a very lovely tool. And I thought I would talk about it with you. Hey, Diane, how are you going? Because it's so good. It's just a pencil. But this is just so you know what it is that I'm using. This is the Sketcher-sized pencil. Where is the cute box? Here we go. I'm just going to show you the cute little box. This is a mechanical pencil. This is and it comes with spare leads, spare erasers. I've got a few different things in here. You can get HB or 2B. That's a bit softer. I've got the 0.5, there's also a 0.7, which is a little bit wider. Still, it's a pencil that's very, very detailed, but it's the Sketcher size auto pencil set. And I'm showing you because I just love the little box. So I'll pop that back over there. And what makes this one so nice is just the form of it. It's just nice, it's solid. Nicely made, all that stuff. It's got so many automatic pencils. It's just my favourite one. And I had this messy little face. Now, I'm not saying she's marvellous or anything like that, but I don't feel like just turning the page. If you didn't see it, you can see a little bit of what it was like before. There was no form, there was no... I don't know, it just wasn't it. And just by tightening up with a pencil and drawing in just stylized sketchy lines, it makes all of the loose watercolour make sense, because it just says, hey Kim, how you going? Diane's got insomnia. Oh no. And do you know what, I even like the little splotches of colour here. I think I'll add more and do something else. I like all of this very loose, patchy, where I've done little layers of different skins. And I've moved her cheeks, I've moved her mouth up a little bit, and there's a little bit of shading there. And I tried to lift off as much of it as I could, and I've just used the white paint pen, as I so often do, as an eraser. It doesn't have to be perfect, and I can even use this to shape, try and make the mouth a little bit symmetrical, but it doesn't really matter if it isn't, because it's all a sketch, isn't it? And it's just, you know, just a little bit loose, a little bit carefree. And I thought, well, I might give the same sort of treatment to the next one that I started. Like halfway through the broadcast, I just went, I couldn't look at it anymore, and I just turned the page and kept going. This is one of the things I love about working in an art journal, is that you can do that. I can just flip the page, work on something else, and just let that sit for a minute, because usually when you come back, you see things differently. So I've struggled with her a lot too. I've been playing around with this. I've added in some white pen. I took the really dark colour off her mouth. When something goes from just a really basic little sketch, and then you start adding in a little bit of realism, like I like to do, make the eyes a bit more real, the cheeks, once you start on that path, everything has to sort of follow along. Otherwise, part of I'm just talking about my philosophy with my work here. I want to keep it back in that sketchy zone just for myself, because I'm not trying to do something realistic here. Her proportions are whimsical anyway. She's really not, it's not a realistic face. But I really loved the loose things, and because it's just loose pencil work, it doesn't matter if the colours aren't real or realistic, or lines aren't really whatever. This is just how I feel. Oh, and I've got super glue all over my fingertips. Apparently olive oil lifts that right off, which I shall try when I go back to the kitchen. But I've got my set of watercolours, the new book truck edition of the watercolours. I've got so many watercolours I can choose from, and I'm just, I thought I would add these colours, which I might still do, into my set of all the others in my little vintage watercolour tin. I'd have to get a bigger tin, that's fine. Maybe one of my magic wand tins would be perfect. If anyone's tried that, let me know. But I'm loving it as a little set all of its own. Absolutely loving it. So just in case you don't know, the book truck edition this is the original colour library. Woo! Is the tubes, and you can make sprays out of them. Oh, I've got to do this too. Sprays out of them and all sorts. You can put tube watercolour into any kind of pan that you like. So there's 24 colours in that, and then this is some new colours in here. There's 10 new colours that aren't in that set. Some of them are very highly granulating, very intense, professional quality watercolours. They're divine, okay? Anyway, that's them in their little candies. Why are we looking at that? So they're the colours, and then because of the way that the tin is, and the tin comes with the set as well, like my original tins, I've added a few. I've got room there to add a few others. I've added a magnet. That's why I have super glue on my fingers. We have little super strong magnets that we sell in the store. And if I can pull this one out, because it is a super strong magnet, it might be, and I've lost the sense of feeling on my fingers because they're covered in super glue. It doesn't matter how careful I am with super glue. I know in advance that I'm going to end up with it on my fingers. Doesn't matter. But just a little flat, super powerful magnet on the back there with a bit of super glue, and then that just, you know, put it anywhere, but I just clip it back in there, and then they won't move as I'm using them. Excuse me. Oh, hopefully I don't keep sneezing. But I've got Painted Veil, then I've got Pygmalion, Oliver Twist, and I decided to put Centre of the Earth, which is this beautiful, really warm, like a sepia type of colour, gold pigment pebble, and I had enough room for one more, like a little mini pan, and I've got another pigment pebble, which is the metallic, these little guys. So I've just put that in there. I've got a little bit of the kind of binder, which is gum arabic, and I've just turned that into a little, I always need a bit of gold, and well, I've also got a bit of metallic turquoise. I can change those out whenever I want to, but that's my palette at the moment, and I just love it. I'm even using the mixing trays, which I always, for some strange reason, I don't always do. So I'm just going to, before I do anything, I'm just going to take a photo of this because she has changed, and it's sort of interesting for me to keep a little record of changes. And then I can use it on Instagram, I guess. Now the thing with pencil is it's got a little bit of a shine to it. It's a grey. And I'm going to do the same as what I did here. I've put in these sketch lines. Now she's a little bit more realistic, but I'm going to insert a sketch back over the top of her. And so this little bit of, I've built the nose up a little bit. I'll just let that, I just want to see what happens because I really, really enjoyed doing this. So I just thought I'm just going to bust it even further. And so I'm going to come in and just add some really stylized lines on there. Lines that you just wouldn't see on the face. but I want to see what that looks like, because it doesn't really matter, you know. Like I can even do it stylized. And this might not work at all. This might be, you know, whatever. But it doesn't matter because I don't like it anyway yet. So, sorry, lady. No, it's not you. It's me. And may as well just lean into it and make things and flatten them out on purpose. And see if I can... I don't know. I did that start to like her hair though, I must say. And there's just something about scribbling that is very, woo, I pressed too hard. That's just very lovely. And to me, the little scribbled lines start to say, don't take this seriously. None of this is serious. I'm sketchesizing. It's a sketch size pencil. That's what we're doing. And graphite always has a little bit of a shine, so I'll just hold that up so you can see that. But you already know that graphite's got a bit of a shine in it, just because my angle's a little bit different. Gosh, the mouth is just so uneven. I'm going to take it out a bit bigger and less moo-mooey. Now I've got I've got paint under there, I've got a few different things. I'm just going to do some weird stuff. I enjoyed doing what I did last time, so I'm just going to do that again. On this page as well. I'm going to colour in those cheeks. I'm going to colour in a round circle. Why not? I've got a bit of Pygmalion, but I might even get some of these other pinks. So it can be quite freeing to create something you're not really attached to. Oh, that colour. Because you discover things. Now I've got this colour Persuasion. I'm going to come over and add that purple in here. Which will flatten everything back out again. I'm going to add that real neon up in there, a little bit of that in here, even in here. What worked quite well too is Painted Veil has got a little bit of, which is like a flesh colour, not a flesh colour. It's just a flesh colour, like a beige. It does have a little bit of opacity to it. And these sort of beige colours can be a little bit harder to mix for people, so that's why I usually have one in here, as well as our nice other colours. We can just add more white to it, water to it to make it lighter. You can add white to it as well to make it lighter, but that would make it more opaque. So I'm just using those two. of freeing to work on something that you don't like. Well, it's not that you don't like, it's just it's not doing anything for you as yet. What I do like though is her that shadow under her chin. I do quite like that. Now that's going to bleed up through there, I think. So I'm just going to just dab this a little bit to break it up. And it looks very, oh yum, these colours that we mixed. It looks yellowy to me because I got all that pink there as well. Weird. I'm just going to do something crazy. Just need a big brush to do it. I want to add a lot of pink behind it, but rather than use this pan set, I'm going to use, it's the same pink as this one, from the Colour Library. Got Dame Judy Dench here, the Drench sponge. Sorry, Dame Judy Drench. This is a bigger pan. This is the Fantastic palette. And I'm going to add it quite watery, so it'll make these splatters move around a bit. But it's easier to pick the colour up on this bigger pan. And come right over it. And I might come over this side. Just avoid that centre. Because this journal is the new flip pad, and if I get that wet in there, the binding will dissolve. Oh, this colour. So if you're having a bad day or you're doing art and it's not going your way, reach for your favourite colour in that moment, and at least that's happening, right? Now this is coming like this. I'm just going to, let's just see what happens. I'm going to use my pencil again. The paper is wet. It's going to scratch into it a little bit. I've got all these weird little speckles there. I'm just going to really, ooh, if I mix them together, I'm going to get a really nice purple. Just going to let that, but I'm scratching into it. So it's going to be a darker colour, and I'm going to pop a little body in here, a little person. This is something that's been happening in my larger paintings. And oh, love this. Like, the paper does not like being, I'm destroying the paper really, like scratching into it because it's wet, it doesn't like it, but it's just going darker in those areas, and I love what's happening. It's just very loose. And then, oh, I'm just into big frilly collars. Don't ask me why. I don't even know why. Clown, flower. And when I say I'm into, I mean I've been into them for a long time. I also love drawing a Peter Pan collar too, strangely. But this is her neck, shoulders. Oh, I'm going to make the paper wetter again because I want to scratch into it rather than it be just a pencil line. I want to scratch into it. Joy, joy, destroy. We're doing the destroy. This is a little bit of Oliver Twist. So Oliver Twist I added into my palette, remember? So quite a pinky purple, different to Persuasion, but this, it just feels nice to explore the lines like this. I've got fingers happening. I think she's got this shoulder happening. This is her waist. This is going to be her body then. And she's sort of looking off that way. And we're not going to see feet, but she's in behind this girl. That's her hair there. And I kind of like that. Now I'm going to try something. I'm going to dab her face. And we're just left with these pink lines. And I'm going to dab her hand. I'm going to dab this highlight area where her bust would be and maybe where the hip would be. I'm going to come in darker there. I'm still going to use this big brush because I'm going to shape this hair to being here. I might even grab a little bit of this blue and come around her now, and a little bit of the colour purple, which is an amazing like a dioxine purple, but they're real violet. That's Persuasion there. And I want that Opera Rose, which is the Pride and Prejudice. I really want that to be in the hair here, I think. And then with watercolour, we need to let it settle and sit down for a bit. And while I've got it, I'll just swap my brush down to something a little bit smaller, and I'm going to give her a little bit of pink, but that's a bit too much. I'll just come around the edge and just soften that off. Keep it really sketchy. Oh, I just feel like painting over her completely. Why not? Do you know what? I'm just going to pop a bit of water here. So I've got these blue speckles here. Because I quite like this. That was fun for me to do that. So what colour could I put in here? If I do go purple, it'll be too dark. So what happens if I do Painted Veil? And instead of her being nude, so I'm going to put a bit of this colour in. And I'll put a little bit of the one that I popped in there as well. Centre of the Earth, just to warm it up a bit more even. No, actually I want it cooler. I like that colour. So I think it's that mixed with a little bit of Persuasion, I think, and a little bit of the Crucible. And that was her shoulder there too. Just looking out for that. Because I think I'm going to draw another face in here. So this is like different versions of this same person, or these sisters, I don't know. But I am going to just do something crazy, and I'm just going to grab this Persuasion, which is this really nice purple, and I've got a little bit of that mixed up in here so it's a bit more muted. I'll pop a little bit of Crucible in there as well. I'm just going to come right over this shadow side of the face and just pull that down. I've got this, some of that, a darker blue that's come through. Oh, do I like that or not? I'm just going to bleed. How funny, it hasn't even really bled enough, but it's going to granulate in there, and I'm going to just going to form a little bit of a, I just like the way the, getting the purpley colour instead of it just being lead pencil. I'm going to pop a little bit more of that Persuasion over there so it stains the lines a little bit more even. Oh, that's nice, those two. Oh, sorry, I'm just, it's a nice, I like that colour, that's nice. So again, just going into, just damaging the paper on purpose, because this is very good paper. It's not going to like this though. So it's scratching in, but I like the look of it, and then we'll wait and see what it dries like. Okay, who are you? Okay. And then I'll let this dry and just see where we end up. I'm going to come back in over this again. In fact, I think I might come over with black pen. I'm just going to go, just turn this crazy. Maybe not that black pen. Okay, this is going to bleed. tell you what, having paper that lets you just keep digging in and doing crazy things, it's very nice. And I was reminded of that because I'm doing like a little art class, local art class, and I used the paper and paint that was there in the first week and made very sure to bring my own the following week, because no bueno. What I'm trying, I want to get this really super stylized. So it goes totally flat. Goodbye, lady. Goodbye. In fact, goodbye. But I do like her. And I like this watercolour peeking out. And I've got that paper damage there. And just leave that like that. But I might add in a bit of a different colour. This colour that I've just added is one of the new, newer Joyful Gessos. That's Peppy Purple Divine. But I might just pop a little bit of this guy. This is Lovely Lapis Lazuli to get a little bit of contrast. Oops, I should have given that a little shake. Oh, I wish it would stay like that though. Gorgeous. I just need to mix it up a little bit more because I just want to stain this in. I know. Tuppy's gone, eh! It'll all be for the better, don't worry. I can just redraw it. That's why I took a photo of it earlier. She's just under there. Sometimes it's like collage, you know, when you cover up collage, as it got you where you needed to go. So thank you, lady in the background. We're off to somewhere else. I did like that little drawing there, but it took me 4 seconds. I can draw it again. But I really do like her over here. And we'll wait and I'll have to let this dry now. I intended to rub this in a little bit more, so I'll do that. But this purple is just so gorgeous. Now that I've got the acrylic out, it's calling to me, so I'm just going to do a little bit more of that colour over here. Oh. In fact, I'm going to pop a bit more. Gosh, this colour. Whoa. You are heaven. This paint, honestly, like I said, I've been doing my painting class. I've been doing giant paints. It's something very not what I do. Mixed media, abstract. I haven't done one abstract yet. One part of a painting had to be abstract. I just, you know, faces keep happening and figures, and I just, you know. I am what I am, right? But the amazing properties of this paint. I mean, of course I knew it was good. Of course. Actually, I don't want to cover up those little swatches. I'm just going to leave that like that. Yeah, the properties of the paint are such that I'm so happy with it. It's just so good. Okay, so I've got this gorgeous purple. And I'm going to leave her. I think that she's going to evolve into something else. Something else is going to evolve here. I don't know what it is yet. I've got wet acrylic here. What can I use in wet acrylic? Virtually nothing except pencil. Coloured pencils, of course, I can, but I'm not going to get much colour until it's dry. But this will scratch in. So what I don't want is too much acrylic. But even as it's drying, should we do that? Let's do it. And let's see if I get this same sort of scratching in, what kind of scratching in effect I get over here with this. So I'm just going to come in and do a little bit of a face. Oh no, googie ear, guys. Oh no. Concentrate, Jane. We want form. Just loose. This is quite nice. And I'll just wipe the acrylic off every so often. Oh, I think she's wearing glasses. Oh, that's cool. So am I, love. Can you see the... Oh, it's quite satisfying drawing through the wet acrylic with this, because it's shiny and this is very matte, and this is just a little bit shiny. I'll let her come off the page there as well. She's got a bit of a side part. Oh, dragging through the wet acrylic. Oh yeah, scratching at the paper a little bit. Ugh, this should be illegal. It's too much fun. Okay, now, just because, where's my paint over pens? I think it's dry enough for me to use these now. So these are the souped up version of my original paint over pens, which I think they had about 6 colours. And so, the white had various tips, and now there's, I think it's 20 colours. That's one of the original paint over pens there. But now there's lots of nice colours here too. I'll do this blue. I'll bring this blue in. And, oh yes. Just want to keep it loose though. Because I don't really know where I'm going with this yet, but let's keep that there. Should we do something? Oh, I might go this colour first. But we're talking crazy colours, so we don't need to stick with reality. Now I can feel where I hit a bit of wet acrylic there, so I'm going to make sure that I'm cleaning that off as I go. because if the other acrylic, even though this is an acrylic ink in here, if it dries on there, that'll be, who knows. Hey Julianne, hey Tubby, Kim. No, I'm not hungry at all. No, I'm very, very happy. Just sometimes things just, you know. I have done that a few times this week, and it's very unusual for me to do something like that. And you know what? I'm just going to roll with it. It's just part of whatever my brain, my emotions are going through at the moment. There's just something that needs to do the joy, destroy. And if it's just not working, just be brave enough to say, you know what? Let's just paint that out and see what happens. Nothing. Not like it'll just be... and I did it earlier too. I did it before class, I did it during class, I did it when I was doing this, and then that's 3, and then 4. That's happened 4 times this week. And it rarely happens where I just go, boop, bye-bye. And I'm not saying that I will keep up with this, it's just obviously... sometimes you just need to do that, don't you? Oh gosh, I love I love paint pens. I was going to say I like white paint pens, but I just like all paint pens. I don't have to just be the colour white. But I don't need that highlight. Oh good, that'll disappear anyway. I can always paint this back in, you know. Give her yellow eyes. Yeah, let's not do any normal colours. Oh, where they're mixing, it's going green. Well, that's all right. Oh, that's making a nice colour. Now I keep my paint over pens tipped down. The danger with doing that with a pen is the ink can travel down, make the end a little bit juicy. But usually as I'm using things, I'm keeping a little bit of an eye on that. And a little bit of juiciness is good. But I will come in with white, white, white. Just, there are different whites, and this is the most opaque of them, the unicorn paint pen with the white. So I wonder if that's just too... I've been doing a lot of drawing today up in, just in my kitchen, just playing around. In a journal. I know this might be a bit hard for you to see because the camera is going to, the camera is going to have a total conniption over it. But I quite like it. Don't ask me why. I would like this but not like something else. Oh, am I putting paint on my jumper? Probably. She reminds me of, just reminds me, I'm not saying anything good about what I'm doing, but her face reminds me a little bit of Botticelli's Birth of Venus, like a really weird version, in a peppy purple version of such a thing. And the drier the paint gets, the more the colour will stand out as I put it on. So because the paint underneath, you know, isn't completely cured, it'll absorb the new colour a little bit more. So it's touch dry enough for me to create on it, but then every time I use them again, as the paint dries a little bit more, it will let me do a little bit more. Okay, so now she's blue. Well, this is very strange, and we shall wait and see what happens. And I'll just see what happens there. I don't know yet. But I quite like her. Why I would like her and didn't like her, I don't know. I can't tell you. Love this. Oh, so now when I finish now, what I'm going to do is I want this to dry a little bit more flatter, this journal. So I'm just going to pop my handy helpers on there and give my brush a really good wash. Oh, because I used my watercolour brush for my acrylic. That wasn't that smart, Jane. Well, you started off with watercolour, didn't you? Yes, and then you just didn't. It doesn't matter, but I just see when I'm washing it, see, even though I would have thought that's pretty clean, look, there's still acrylic in there. And when it dries, that will dry harder. And it'll be okay the first few times, but eventually, you know, when your brush it feels stiff down here, it just stiffens up over time. So it's still fine, but it just loses its flexibility, which is sad for a watercolour brush. Oops, got water splashing everywhere. So I do want to make sure it's even there. I would have thought for sure I really got it clean, but that's why your watercolour brushes, we usually try and stick to watercolour. I think I've pretty got it. I've got it a lot anyway. But I could take that upstairs and wash her and just make sure everything's fine. Oh, I don't want that water in my binding. I'm just going to let that dry and just see what happens next. But actually, I'm not going to let it dry, because I've got these other colours out, but I will make sure I pick a acrylic brush. See, it's got the A. A little bit of that. Where that watercolour is coming through, I don't want that there. It looks like a bruise, but not the kind that I want. I like a bruisey purple, but that's not what I want. And then I'll just let this evolve. And we'll see what happens? Maybe nothing. And I shall put that on there and weight all this down overnight. Well, I hope you have a lovely evening. I feel quite released because I quite like this weird thing. And yes, that's all good. Oh yeah, the beautiful blue. Well, the new blue that we've got it's different to that blue. That was gorgeous. I've got another gorgeous blue as well, the delightful denim. And yeah, but my original first dark blue was gorgeous. I've got watercolours like that though. Kimberly was like, went to the loop, where is she? Oh, she's under there. She's having a sleep underneath. But I like this. But she lives in my phone, look. She lives in my phone. This is why it's good to do a little photograph. There she was at one point. Oh, there's the dogs, there's my feet. And this was her. I remember I did a quick little video. Yes, so she lives. She's just in there, but she's gone for now. Now I am just going to quickly. Oh, I love this scratching in effect. Love that so much. It's these purple lines, but really it's the pencil, the sketcher size pencil. Oh, I'll let it dry. I've got all these little weird blue things. I've got this mess here. I might even do some writing. What? Who am I? What's going on? Just very released. I like the hand. I'm going to give her a little bit of, just a little bit of personality. I've got to keep her sketchy though and fake. Start adding in a lot of detail. We go out from that and well, I haven't done anything that I regret yet, so that's good. Plenty of time for that. But you know, so I've got that whirly there, and I think that her other hand is going to be here. I'm just going to scratch into this acrylic before I go. Let's see. I can always paint over it like I just did. She's giving me Catherine. Who is it? Heathcliff, it's me. Kathy, yeah, Catherine. She's giving me Catherine Wuthering Heights vibes as she calls at the end of his window. Oh no, I don't want the feet to fit on there. There's no feet. This is the body. Oh, but we're just squeezing feet on for the sake of it. No. Okay. Wait a minute, just going to, I am going to give her a bit of shape here. It's me at the end of your window. Now, I've dragged that through a bit of wet acrylic, so I just want to make sure that do I want to add white in there? Do I? I'm just going to give a little bit of black here, just excuse me, hold. I quite like this. Okay. The strangeness. But I'm quite loving her. Quite loving her. Let's just... And the best part is it's a journal, so it doesn't have to make sense for anyone on the planet. Except me, because it's in my book. Yes, we love lots of pigment. Okay, my friends. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I'm having a lot of fun. Yes, just being messy and free and letting things flow on a Sunday evening. And when you have a little bit of art, it doesn't even have to be good, as long as it's fun, as long as you sort of enjoy it. Yeah, it feels just as good as making good art, whatever good art is. You know it when you see it. Isn't that the saying? But yeah, just having fun is just as good as creating something that you love, because it's just a different form of love, because you've loved making it. So it's just a little bit different. Okay. Look at her. She's cool. Bye. Go and do some art, please.